Back in 2014, a 10-year-old boy lost his grandfather. Before he passed away, the grandfather had only one final wish. He wanted to return and live with his family again. The family had visited him in the hospital the night before his death, and even in his weak condition, he kept asking the same question. "When are you taking me home?" A few months later, strange things started happening inside their apartment. Every single night between 2:30 and 3 a.m., loud crashing noises would come from the kitchen. At first, the family ignored it. Then they assumed it was rats. They set traps across the house and eventually removed every rat they could find. But the sounds never stopped. One night, the crash was so loud that the boy's mother thought someone had broken into the house. She asked the maid to check the kitchen immediately. But when the maid returned, she looked terrified. Nothing had fallen. No utensils were on the floor. And no one was there. That was the moment they realized something wasn't normal. Days later, even stranger things began happening. The boy clearly remembered turning the bedroom lights off before sleeping. But every morning, the lights would somehow be switched back on. No one could explain it. Then came the windows. The metal grills around the apartment suddenly started rattling every night, as if an invisible force was shaking them from outside. What made it worse was that the grills had never made a sound in the 10 years they had lived there. Soon, even the maid became too scared to sleep alone. Finally, the boy's mother contacted their family priest. Without hearing the full story, the priest reportedly said something disturbing. He believed the grandfather's spirit was visiting the apartment every night, trying to return to the family he never wanted to leave. After certain rituals were performed, the activity slowly stopped. But the story didn't end there. Months later, the family moved away. And according to them, every new tenant who entered that apartment faced terrible luck. One tenant died only weeks after moving in. Another left after a family member suddenly passed away. Others became sick and refused to stay there for long. Today, the apartment remains mostly empty. And the boy, now older, says he still remembers those nights vividly, especially the sounds coming from the kitchen at exactly 3 a.m.